In this video, we're going to take a look at a new feature available in Nerdio Manager for Enterprise version 3.3 and later that allows the administrator to specify which availability zones can be used for provisioning of session host VMs. We're going to start by going into one of our workspaces and picking any host pool inside of that workspace, and we will go to the properties page. On the properties page, we'll go to VM deployment, and we can see that there is an option here called distribute VMs across availability zones. By default, this option is unchecked, which means that any session host VMs that will be created inside of this host pool are going to be distributed into the default availability zone. But if you want to actually distribute your VMs across availability zone to provide some availability zone or data center redundancy, then checking this box is the way to do it. When this box is checked, there are several options that we can select from. We can either choose the all zones selection right here, which means that Nerdio Manager will automatically determine how many VMs in this host pool are already in certain zones and then place new VMs into the least loaded zones with VMs. And that has been the default behavior in Nerdio Manager prior to this version, prior to version 3.3. But now there is a way to actually pin your VMs to specific availability zones as opposed to using all of them. So for example, if you only wanted to use zone 2 and zone 3, you can select it like this. And then Nerdio Manager will skip zone 1 and distribute VMs across zone 2 and zone 3 only. The reason this is important is if there are some capacity constraints in certain availability zones within certain Azure regions, this feature allows you to work around those by specifying where the host should be created. Now, it's important to keep in mind that this zone selection happens during VM creation, so that once a VM is created, it has already been placed into an availability zone, and that cannot be changed directly. There is now a scripted action in Nerdio Manager can actually move a VM from one zone to another. But for the purposes of this feature, be sure that if you want to move your VMs to another zone, or you want to not use zone 1 as an example, then be sure to delete and recreate those session hosts. And if you have autoscale enabled, Nerdio Manager will automatically recreate the VMs based on this policy once you remove them from the host pool. Hope you found this useful and look forward to seeing you in future videos.